Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on, folks? It is your boy right here, man. MMA Reloaded. We are on the mic once again. And folks, tonight is episode 42 of MMA Reloaded on the mic. It's been a hot minute since we've been on the mic. Last time out, we were doing a Real Talk. It's the 59th episode of Real Talk that we did on Sunday night. And it was a pleasure to do it with a legend in Eric Cook. But tonight, folks, episode 42 of On the Mic, we have a very special guest. He is the current reigning Almighty Fighting Championships middleweight champion, amateur middleweight champion. He is 3-0 as an amateur right now in his career. He is also boxing. He also competes in boxing and is a champion, NLB champion in boxing. So, folks, I sit tonight with Joe Ambler. Why am I sitting with Joe Ambler? Well, in 3 nights, Joe is in 3 nights, Joe will be competing at the inaugural BMF UK event. BMF UK is going to be filled with rising stars, even juniors. You got battle-tested veterans, you got professionals, you got kickboxing, you got everything but the kitchen sink in the world of martial arts and combat sports, run by former Almighty Fighting Championships co-president Stephen Mayer, and one of my boys, one of my close confidants, one of my close friends, and a guy I've been pleasured to know for quite a long time. He is also the head coach, one of the head coaches at the Unit MMA in Doncaster. He is Connor Halliday, so I'm very, very excited to follow this event as it goes on, and also, talk with the fighters. We're only 3 nights out, so I want to thank Joe Ambler in advance before he's even joined for his time on the mic today. So, folks, the regional promotions as we go along. I know in the UK there are so many promotions, so much talent to showcase that. It is literally unbelievable. Every gym in the UK is ready to showcase new bit of talent, build on a current bit of talent that has already made a name, or, are building champions to the next level, whether that be Bellator, the UFC, PFL, One Championship. You see it all across the world of combat sports is that a legend will try and build a younger fighter, and a younger fighter is going to be eager and willing and keen to learn from that legend. Now, when we talk about, we talk about that, and we talk about the regional scene in the UK, there is no such thing. I mean, we do get mismatches. You get them all the time. Say, you have a banger of a fight to start with. One guy pulls out, and then another guy who's, say, like 3-50 comes in and bangs. Yeah, we get that. But, it's not all about records. Hell, shit, you never know. It's a fight game. A guy who's 3-50 could bang a guy who's 10-0. It is possible. So, it's not about records in this game. It's about actually stepping into the octagon or the cage or the hexagon, whatever it may be, and sort of and showcasing what you're all about. This is what it's all about, man. This is the fight game. And to showcase what you are all about, that is how it's supposed to be. And it's having the balls to go into the cage and step up to that guy who's 10-0. You have to be wary. You have to be willing to take a few punches, to give a few back. There is so much in the regional scene. We saw it last night. Jake Hadley becomes the first Almighty Fighting Championship competitor to get a shot in the UFC. Now, he, one of my good friend Ray Thompson, who owns and runs the Almighty Fighting Championship events, actually, introduced Jake Hadley to us, and it was a very it was a great move, man, for Ray, I have to say. to have someone that talented on your show. And you have to be, you have to tip your hat off to my dude, and you tip your hat off to everyone who basically um, comes onto comes into the regional scene straight from scratch and can build and build and build and build to the point where you're making it, or you made it. And Jake Hadley did that last night on the Contender Series. There is a lot of controversy with his attitude and so forth. Your attitude, look, man, it's one of those things in MMA combat sports, right? Is you get these guys who are rebellious, who think that they are the cream of the crop, the hot shit, yeah, and who think they are better than everyone else. You get those fighters, and I'm not saying you don't. I'm saying you do, yeah, because everyone knows these things, right? Ever since shit talking was introduced in mixed martial arts, every every fighter has looked at that as a way of excelling themselves up the ladder, and that's fine. Look, man, it's fine with me as long as you can back it up and you put on good fights. Even if you lose and you still talk shit, fans are entertaining, even though it's not my style as a fan watching, and of course as a broadcast journalist, it's not my cup of tea. I'm afraid, but that's the way the game's played now, and it's a game that a lot of fighters are playing as it stands. Well, this Saturday night, folks, is another very interesting fight night. It's UFC Vegas 41. Um, you know, it's main evented by Norma Dumont and Aspen Ladd. It was supposed to be main evented by Holly Holm. So, but Bellator are going to be putting shit on, folks. You got a real cream of the crop Bellator card. Let's just see what Bellator are putting on for y'all. Yeah. Let's see what Bellator are going to be putting on for y'all. Check this out. Because, bro, you might want to tune into Bellator, yeah? Just tune into Bellator, folks. So what you got is you got the light heavyweight Grand Prix semi-finals. My bro, the light heavyweight Grand Prix semi-finals. You got Julius Angeliskas taking on the champion Vadim Nemkov in the main event. You got Ryan Bader versus Corey Anderson. Come on, G. How can you not love that? You got Ben Henderson and Brent Primus, with Brent Primus touching lightweight gold. Yeah, and Ben Henderson, of course, the former great, trying to recapture that glory and trying to prove that he's still one of the greats. That fight is going to be crazy. You got Henry Corrales fighting. You got Carl Albrechtsen, who of course is one of the great rising stars in the division, like heavyweight division, ranked. I think he's ranked as well. You also got studs like Jaleel Willis, Jalen Bates, who's quickly making a name for himself as one of the brightest talents that Bellator is producing right now, and he's only beginning his career. We've got one of my boys, Lance Gibson Jr., who is fighting as well. You got Javier Torres. A lot of these guys, man. That prelim card is filled up. It is no joke. You got Bellator also showcasing an amateur bout in the women's strawweight division. Honestly, folks, here this is going to be one to definitely watch, man. As time as it goes on to this weekend, So, folks, we are just about ready and set, coming soon. With Joe Ambler. So, folks, it is one of these. I just want to touch on it, and again, and that's the fact that it's the regional scene, yeah, to just wrap it off, is it's one of those real interesting things. Because you see these kids here, and you see them, they're as young as 15 in the amateur scene in MMA right now in the UK. And you see them and you think, what the fuck is he gonna bring to the table? Or you see another guy, what the fuck is he gonna bring to the table? You never know, right? So you're actually thinking, am I, you're actually thinking, oh shit, I should go watch this. As a fan, you're actually thinking, oh, I want to see this guy. I want to see that guy. Or he looks good. Or he looks good. Or you might want to search them up if you see a card. And it makes it more interesting to get to know the fighters in the regional scene, which is why I do what I do, which is why, which is why the Prospect MMA podcast does what he does. So that's why we do what we do. I do what I do as MMA Reloaded. The Prospect MMA podcast does what he does. You have all these guys doing what they do with these regional fighters because they're which is why it's so good. Which is why regional MMA is so good because not only can we project the fighters onto you as fans, but we can make you fans of the regional scene by getting to know the fighters, getting to know who they are as people, down to earth shit. It's what it's all about. At the end of the day, they are human beings. It's just to them, it's just a way of success is fight. And yeah, man, folks, we're just about ready right now with Joe Ambler. Yeah. He is, as I said, folks, if you're just tuning in, thank you for tuning in. He's 3-0 right now as an amateur, the current Almighty Fighting Championships middleweight champion, and he is also a professional boxer and boxing champ. So we're about to go live right now with Joe. Hey, Joe. Hey, Joe, how's it going, buddy?
Oh, minute, signal's not that good here. What's that?
No worries.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's a lot better, mate. Yeah, that's cool.
Huh?
That's cool. How's it going, Joe? Thank you so much for taking the time out. I know it's just 3 nights out from the inaugural event at BMF MMA, and for you to take your time out to come on the show, I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
It's no worries. My pleasure.
My pleasure's all mine, my friend. So first of all, man, I have to start off. How's camp going? And how are you feeling? 72 hours out of the show.
Good. Camp went well. No injuries, which is good. Yeah, just good. Just been hitting it hard. I feel like I'm a lot more prepared for this one. I've took it a lot more serious, which is a bit daft, really, saying I've just fought for a belt. But yeah, I feel like I've took this one a lot more serious. I feel like my condition's a lot better. Yeah, I'm 72 hours out. I feel good. Good.
How do you feel confidence-wise? Because of course you're coming off that win at Almighty FC for the middleweight title, and
Yeah.
you must be buzzing after that, my boy. You must be coming into this one with a wealth of confidence, but at the same time you're still not underestimating the guy in front of you.
Yeah, definitely. Main thing that I try and think about is not to go into a cocky and think it's going to be easy, because it ain't. How it can happen. I respect everybody in tournament. Well, everybody who I fight, to be fair, I respect them.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, man. No, for sure, bro. You have to, right? You can't just be a dick to them and
Yeah, exactly.
But
And the day, if you be a dick and you end up getting, leveled, yeah, it don't look good. But that's not the only reason why. I'm not that type of guy. I like to be respectful, because end of the day, I know what it takes to get in there. But yeah, like this, going into this one, obviously everything's high. I've got momentum behind me. Picked up win after win after win, and so after every fight, I felt just more confident. Again, confident, not cocky, but
that's the thing, right? Is there's no problem with being confident. Yeah, you get these guys who take it too far, and then you think that, all right, cool, and then they get knocked out, and then they learn a lesson afterwards.
Exactly.
But you're coming into a very different aspect of combat sports at BMF MMA with the tournament, and you got 4 very, very tough guys. You got 3 very, very tough guys in front of you.
Yeah.
How are you feeling? Going into a tournament like that in the inaugural event of BMF MMA.
Obviously, straight away I'm feeling fit, healthy, and confident. But like we just said, on the other hand, the 3 that's in it, I don't think they could have picked a better bunch, really.
Yeah.
There's like all these different fighting styles all mingled together, and you just I don't know. It's mental, really. It's mental that I'm a part in it as well. It's mind blowing.
For sure, man. And as an amateur still, and still 33-0. It's got to be a great boost for your career to be a part of not only first events of a new promotion, but also a tournament aspect, which can always be exciting. It's always unpredictable. Is a tournament always something you wanted to do? Have you done a tournament before?
Nope, never done one. Never even thought about one, to be fair. And then when I fought for the belt, Almighty belt, and I won that. Steve and Connor, who run the BMF show, straight away they were like, "We're looking to put tournaments together. We're starting the show. We want you to be in it." And I was like, I was a bit obviously still coming off that win, so I was like, just give me a few days and that, and I'll let you know. And yeah, they were just like, "Oh, we want you in it," and I'm like, "All right, we'll do it." Never thought about it before, but why not? Amateur, it's all about learning. So, even if it don't go my way, which obviously I'm not thinking like that, but even if it does, it's all just learning, all experience.
That's all it is, man. And that's what the amateur, if you could name a few key things that so far your amateur career has taught you, what would those be at this point in time as you move forward?
What's that? Sorry, if I could name a few, what?
If you've learned, what are some of the key things that your amateur career has taught you to this point, going forward?
To control my diet better, which I've done a lot better this fight. This is what I mean. I've took this one a lot more serious, but my last 2 have been terrible cuts. So learning curves, obviously, and what I've took from them, control my diet better, which I've done. Obviously, a bit, respectful of everybody, and yeah, just not to take it too serious. To be fair, obviously, when it comes to night, it's 100% serious. But you've got to enjoy the moment and enjoy it, build up and everything like that, and just everything around it. Just enjoy it.
No, definitely, man. And
not
of course,
do it forever.
No, that's it. So enjoy it while it lasts, right?
Yeah.
Enjoy it while you're still young, man. So aside from putting on the fingerless gloves, you also box as well. And if I'm not wrong, MLB champion, if I'm right.
Yeah, it's the last promotion. Yeah.
So if you were to compare preparing to go in the ring to compare to going in the cage, training wise, and of course the physical aspect of it too? How would you sum it up?
A lot of people are probably, well, a lot of specific people are probably not like this, but I think training for an MMA fight is a lot harder. Some people agree with me, some people won't, but my view is, obviously from doing them both, boxing, don't get me wrong, you have to be fit and, you know, it's, they're both like, in their own respect, different type of fitnesses really, but in boxing, you've got your fitness and then in striking, obviously just with your hands. So you can take a lot of shots to head, a lot of shots to body, sparring and obviously fighting. But when it comes to MMA, it's just completely different. I think, especially if you wrestle a lot. If you wrestle a lot, say in a 3-minute round and you wrestle for 2 minutes straight, say it's just scrambles, and you're burning your arms out, filling them with like blood and everything. And then for that last minute, you're having to strike when they're heavy. And I think when you put them two together, striking and wrestling, I think your gas tank just needs to be a completely different level.
So in terms of conditioning, it's on a whole different ballgame.
Yeah, exactly. And also, MMA, you've got a lot more body parts to condition. Obviously, like I said, boxing's, you know, your arms, your head, your body. MMA, you've got your legs and everything. So that's why I think MMA is a lot more harder to train for and get ready for.
How did then, you know, of course, how did it all start for you in MMA? You know, because of course, boxing, of course, but how did it start for you in MMA first of all? How did you get into MMA?
MMA. Yeah, wait, maybe like, I think it was 2018, I think it might have been. You know, like that white collar.
Yeah.
Where I'm from, Barnsley, that they did the first white collar MMA there, and I was like, my friend actually asked me, like, "Oh, you want to give this a go?" I'm like, "Yeah, all right, why not?" So I gave that a go. I won that, but then I injured my lower back doing that, so I think I had about 6-7 months off. Yeah. And after that time off, I just went back to submission, and it's just gone from there, really.
How was it? Then on the other side, how did it start for you in boxing? Was that just did that just derive from starting MMA first and then going into boxing after that?
Yeah, boxing. I had a bit of interest when I was younger because my brother used to do it amateur. So I was real young. I was like 10, so I just used to go to the gym with him a little bit. And then obviously when I did that white collar, my head coach now, Daryl, who also did the training for the white collar, obviously noticed that I had a bit of experience with my hands and that. And then when I went back after sorting my back out, we thought it'd be a good idea just to get a few boxing. Yeah. You know, while like my ground game gets better, and then it's just like transition into MMA really.
That's sick. Yeah. Now why not? You know. So did you think of, you know, before MMA starting a career as a boxer professionally, or were you weighing the options up at the
time? Not really. Probably no.
It seems like you know, your brother coming from an amateur boxing background, and of course you developing the experience with your hand. Was boxing something you wanted to go into competitively like that?
When I was watching my brother when I was young, obviously I was like, oh, you know, my brother's doing that, I want to do it. But that just didn't work out. I think I went into football after that. To be fair, I went into football, so completely different sport. But yeah, no, I never really thought about doing boxing like I do MMA. I just did them fights to get experience, you know, get a feel like what it's like being on a show, and then went into MMA, and this is like where me so like concentration is in that now.
That's for sure. And how is it training wise at submission? You know, because of course where you train is so important as a fighter. Because the coach knows you, knows your style, knows your game. Is submission the gym that you started with, or were you at? Did you try different gyms all before that?
Yeah, submission is where I started, and that's where I've been. I did try AVT for 2 or 3 months, but the only problem with that is because of where I live, I was struggling to make the classes like after work, and so and then so it was just like hard timing wise to get there and back for classes. So I learned a lot while I was AV to tell a short space of time. I learned a lot. I still go now and again. Like I don't know, a couple of weeks ago, I went for some sparring on a Friday morning. So yeah, I still go now and again. I still, but submission is like my main gym at the minute.
And of course at AVT there are a lot of stars. You got some of the best in the UK scene at AVT.
Yeah, definitely.
Talk to me about the experience that you gained out there. And sparring and training with all those guys. How was that experience for you, Joe?
Oh, yeah. I took so much from that 2 or 3 months. Just like, firstly, we'll talk about sparring. Sparring with new people, it gets once you spar with a certain amount of people for so long, you get used to them and you get relaxed with them and you know what they're going to do and stuff like that. So going and doing it with completely new people, it's not like a fight, but you get a bit nervous and you're just like, oh, you seem a bit more on edge.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So there's that, like different styles and everything like that. I learned that, and then the coaches there are fantastic. So obviously I gained a lot of knowledge from them. And just like different styles of like training really, because obviously every gym's got their own style of training. So I took a bit of how they do it.
Yeah, I'm glad, and of course, the training that you gain from AVT, you can go back to submission and utilize that in your sparring, in your drill. So, no, I mean, yeah, that's what it's all about, right?
Yeah,
And how does it feel then? Now you spent your career so far. I know it's only been 3 fights, but you spent your career at Almighty Fighting Championships and now at BMF. So when you got the call from Stephen Connor to go and compete in the first BMF event, how do you feel sort of stepping out of their comfort zone at Almighty to be at BMF? Do you feel, is there any pressure going in there at all?
I don't feel no pressure. It's not. Obviously, I've just fought an Almighty. So I know how the show runs and everything. Brilliant show. Like how it's run and everything like that. Hats off to Ray and everybody else who helps him in that. Fantastic show. But yeah, no pressure. There's no pressure whatsoever. It's not like, Ray's got no problem with it. Yeah, if excitement just to see, another show, see what it's like. And then obviously to be in 4-man tournament, which is, main thing about it, to be fair. I think that's what they're trying to build the card around, I think.
Definitely.
So
what do you think about tournaments in general in MMA? Because of course now we don't see enough of it, especially in the regional circuit, we don't see enough tournaments. And people think tournaments are so good because you actually find out who the best is. And if you don't come out on top, and of course I'm hoping you do, but if you don't come out on top, of course, you still learn from it. You know what I mean? So
yeah, definitely.
So what are your thoughts on tournaments in MMA, Joe? And do you think there should be more of them as it goes on?
Yeah, there should be more of them. Why not? Especially for amateurs, you're just looking for all the experience you can get, all the case time, like all, what's the word? Like getting your name out there, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So I think they're good. Obviously, they're dangerous, but an MMA fight is dangerous. But what I mean about dangerous is, for example, Saturday, I could go into my first fight and have a 3-round war with somebody and come out on top, and I've only got a couple of hours to try and nurse whatever injuries I picked up to go again. So that's why it's just like that extra bit of danger. But we all know it. We're signed up for it, so we know.
I mean, yeah, that's the thing about having a one-night tournament, right? Is that the fight before you, or the fights could go so quick after your first one, yeah, and it will be time for you to go again.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that something you prepared for, or
yeah, ready to go whenever. Ready to go whenever. Just obviously, hopefully, get that first one out of the way, and then not relax too much because obviously I know what's coming. But just take a few deep breaths and relax a little bit. Watch a few shows, a few fights, sorry, and then start warming back up again. I think.
In the gym, is it something for you to go in the gym and study something on your opponent so you know where the weak spots are on him and where you can go capitalize on that? Is that something you do in the gym, or do you train it and take it as it goes?
Not really. Obviously, my corner team look at my opponents and they're like, "Oh, he does this, or he does this. He's really good at this. He likes this." But in a way, it helps, but in a way, it don't, because obviously, if we're doing that, any smart person would be thinking that their own camp would be doing that. So, like, look, we need to work on this. You need to stop doing this. Can improve it. So, really, it's all right looking at them, but something completely different still can come at night. If I don't know, for example, if somebody's terrible at wrestling, they could have spent this camp just wrestling.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, they could just maul you. So they do. My corner team looks at it. I don't really look at them. I only knew of Jack Bell. That's because when I fought on Almighty, a few weeks later, Cage Steel went on, and I went in the corner of one of my main training partner, Reese Vicarage. I went in his corner, and obviously that's where I saw Jack.
Man.
Sorry?
Yeah, I was there at Cage Steel.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I went in his corner. Yeah, Reese
Sorry.
So that's how I know of Jack Bell. Obviously, fought on that. But then the other two, never knew him. And literally all I've done is had a quick glance just to see what they're like and that. And everything else, my corner team will do. And yeah, we're just ready for everything.
And 3 days out. I hope you're getting a recovery time after camp, and I wish you all the best of luck, man. I hope it comes out your way, man.
Yeah, hopefully. I've worked out for it. I'm sure others have as well. So it's all to play for.
Even it's like you said, the learning curve and the experience. So yeah, man. I definitely wish you all the best of luck, man. And thank you once again for coming on the show, man.
No, it's my pleasure.
Have a good fight night, man.
Thank you, mate.
No, cheers, brother. Have a good night.
Catch you later.